La Jiggy Jarja. Welcome. Abby. Hi. How are you? Megan. Welcome. Legs the girl. Very nice. Hello, Megan and Abby. Hey, Multi. How are you? It's the middle of the night. Thanks for staying up. Rainia. Welcome. Thank you, Z. Megan, missed you too. Oh, Rainia, here I am. SEF, how are you? Hope everyone's doing well. Purple Rain. Legs the girl, saying hi again. Jeff, I am well, very well, quite well, thank you. Priest, welcome. How are you? Yo, we have Mads Milk. That's funny. Legs the girl, good. Excellent. It's 2 a.m. All right. Super early. You get up early. You're like me. Megan. Mads is also your husband. Nice. Killer Queen, welcome. Rainy, I am too. Ooh, we got a fight over Mickelson. Star, you're happy. Me, I'm too. Killer Queen, why are you going to cry? Oh, I know why you're going to cry. We probably all are going to cry. Kraus, hi. What time is it? 9 p.m. Eastern. The book. Yes, exactly. I try to block it out of my mind. Pedro Pascal is Multi's husband. Pretty sure Mads is mine. We got, this Mads Mikkelsen. Who knew? Actually, I knew. Miguel, welcome. 902. Pony Boy, hi. Let's see if he's fine as hell. Sure. Kathy, welcome. The man Mads is perfect. Oh, nice. Hippie little fart girl. That's funny. Hi. June. Hello. How are you? Finished my last day. Friday done. Pony Boy, congratulations. Oh, thank you. It actually, I had to shower at the gym today. I ended up taking 3 showers today. And I showered at the gym and used some wild conditioner that they had that was super heavy. And my hair just went bleh. Thanks, Natasha. The live keeps starting and stopping for me. Uh-oh. Kathy, your late night grocery shopping? That's always dangerous for me. I end up with bad stuff. Like cans and cans and cans of Pringles. If we learned nothing with not taking showers at the gym. No. I need to remember my own lessons. All right, Dave, I see what you're asking me to do, and I feel like it's a trap. So I can say happy birthday to Colin, but I will leave the last part out. Thank you, Megan. Andy, are you that kid in Toy Story, Andy? No. I still have all my toys. What's my favorite Pringles flavor? That's hard to say. I am a fan of the original, but I have been on a kick lately of barbecue. I don't know why. Countess Orlock, how are you? Happy Saturday the 14th. Exactly. It's Saturday the 14th. Your favorite is salt and vinegar? That's good. That's good. I saw something today in the store and I thought, that's maybe taking it a little too far. It was limited edition beer can chicken flavored Pringles. That was a little much. I opted out, went straight back for the barbecue. Countess Orlock, you're getting ready to go clubbing. Who made the art on my profile picture? SEF. She is in the feed. She did an awesome job. Congratulate her. She's amazing. Some of the chip flavors are crazy. Like, it took me a while to actually try like a ketchup flavored chip, but it was good. SEF, there you go. The bisexual Diet Coke lover. Bisexual Diet Coke lover. I love Diet Coke too. Me too. Well, I did. I don't drink Diet Coke anymore. Actually don't drink soda. Yay, Pony Boy, let's go. Kraus, you're making another Peter. So you've mourned sufficiently, and you're moving on to Peter Kraus, or back to Peter Kraus. Woo-woo! Thank you. What is my favorite food outside of chicken and rice? Nachos. I do love barbecue. I really love barbecue. Like, really love barbecue. Like, Southern barbecue. And I miss it because there's not any good stuff up here in New England. There is this one place in a town called Taunton that if I'm driving by, I will stop. Just no doubt. Everyone knows. What state am I from, Countess? I'm originally from North Carolina, but I am from, I'm living now in New England. Rainier, you don't have nachos in France? That's enough to make me not come. Kidding. SEF, you have bland taste buds. Beatable, hey! Andy, what do you think of KFC chicken and rice? I've never had it. I have never had it. I'm going to have to go try that. But you have croissant and baguette, which is much better. True. Not going to argue with you. What is my favorite genre of music? My favorite genre of music is 80s alternative. KFC is life. It's funny. How am I on this fine Saturday evening? I'm great. Chicken and rice is just awesome. Opera singer here, tenor Tony. Congratulations. Welcome. Glad you're here. Andy, are you going to dress up for Halloween? Probably. I probably will. I haven't in a couple of years. It's about time. Freakism, you're off for the next few days. Congratulations. Have a good time. What would I dress as? That's to be determined. I have no idea. Cody, hi. Austerian, Jude, the Austerian thing. So, Jude, Kathy, who's here with us, sent me some screenshots of Austerian today, and I can kind of see it. The problem is, that is one flaming vampire with some fabulous clothes. I don't know how I would pull that off. It's going to take some time. I do have a costume designer friend. Might have to work on that. Fran, how are you? Freakism, it's slow at work because it's storming pretty bad. What do you do for work, Freakism, if you don't mind me asking? You have the talent, Andy. You can do it. I'm sure I could do it. It's just going to take a lot of time. But Halloween is a way off, so I do have time, I guess. Food service. There you go. It would be slow on a stormy night. DILF Austerian 2025. You're in college for law, though. There you go. Lala Loopsy. I'm so like your hair. I guess I don't know. You kind of like my hair? Well, that's good. It's kind of my hair. There's a lot of it. Hector Stardust. Does this man show himself or not? Hector Stardust. If I will tell you, oh, thanks, Megan. The answer to that question is there is no OF, there is no Twitter. If you do hang around after the story, I might take my shirt off. There is a tattoo and a tan line. And if you behave, perhaps you can see it. Killer Queen, can you flex for us? Yes. How's that? Queenie, what happened to my account? It was deleted for a few days. Yes, it was. I got in trouble at work. That's the easiest way to put it. I got in trouble at work, and I've had to have a couple of days of negotiation, conversation, and if you notice, now that I'm back up, there is quite a bit of the content that was there that is not there any longer. I apologize for that, but it is what it is because I have to have my job. So it just makes the lives all that more important. So tell your friends, if you want to check out the goods, come to the live. Tis okay, don't worry about it. Glad you're back. I'm glad I'm back too. Thank you, L. Okay, Mr. Ford F350. That I could get away with. Did I repost that one? Can't remember. You don't know if I did? I'll have to relook. I have to look back. I've gone through it a couple of times because my first time, I mean, there's a lot. First time through, there were some that were very clear. I could have pulled back in that so I'm continuing to go through everything that pardon me, y'all. Bear with me just a moment. Important work thing. Crud. All right, that'll just have to wait. All right, sorry about that. I guess no, there's no typing, Megan, that's going to happen. I know, sorry, y'all. No typing on that one. It's a political thing that just occurred. Flint, how are you? Flint, don't worry. I was gone for a few days myself. So welcome back. You missed all the drama. Am I posting again on YouTube? I actually did. Right before the live, I posted on YouTube. There's a couple of things that I'm going to keep going on YouTube because it fits a little better. Actually, our lives, any extended thing that runs for a long period of time, more than a minute or two, I'm going to pull over to YouTube because the viewership there tends to watch things longer than 6 seconds. So I'm putting some stuff there. The morning coffee and poetry is actually posting there to start and then moving over to YouTube. And then there's a new thing that I started that is just travel tips, hotel travel tips. I posted something last night that's a really long one talking about how you book hotel rooms. It's like 6 minutes. And then I did one tonight. And Kathy, that one's pretty short, isn't it? I think it's under 2 minutes, I believe. What drama did I miss? I had to pull my account down, Flint. Yes, Kraus, I do. To answer your questions, I do. Actually, Multi, I am glad you asked that question because I was going to ask you if you would mind if I did. I would love to do that. I would love for you to send me, I've got what Kathy sent me. I would feel way better. It's, I totally trust everyone out there, totally do, but I would feel better receiving it directly from you. So if you could DM me, I'm happy to do it. This morning, Beatable, this morning's poem, I was cracking up. And all I could think about was I cannot laugh my way through this poem. I just cannot do it. I have to deliver it deadpan. Like I've got to pretend like I do not know what I'm saying and make it all the way through this thing. Thank you, Multi. Please do. Please, 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 please do. Fran, send them over. Send them over. I don't care how short they are. It's great. Bianca, me too. I respect writing a lot. So someone with a name that I cannot pronounce, but the letters H, there's a whole lot of letters there. It says I'm beautiful. Thank you. Flint, you do have to go get some moving done. Thanks. Have a great night. It's thought daughter in Spanish. Oh, great. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hi, Diva. Unidentified creature. Nice. Geo, welcome. You're watching the live and watching Airplane. Abby, that's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. You are free to laugh hysterically at any moment. Kraus apparently left and joined again. JJ, welcome. Bisexual Diet Coke lover. It's over 100 degrees where you live and you fear you're being cooked alive. Yeah. That's hot. Where is home, if you don't mind me asking? Because that's hot. And if it's humid on top of that, that's just nasty. Oh, you went protesting today, Kraus. Good for you. Good for you. That's actually the work thing, just so everyone knows, the work thing that I just got that I can't really respond to right now is centered around some legislation that just happened that is going to make a ton of people that I work with much happier. You're in Arizona. Yes, that is 100 degrees of heat and nastiness. I am sorry you're there. I'm not sorry that you live in Arizona. Arizona is beautiful. I'm sorry that you're there when it's 100 degrees. My lashes are on point. I appreciate that, Jacques, very much. Kraus, good night. I will post this on YouTube so you can hear the last 2 chapters if you ever feel like just crying. Bianca, have a great night. Maureen, hi from Sweden. How are things in Sweden? Not 100 degrees like they are in Arizona. Melty, you're going to stay awake as long as it takes. It's only 2 chapters that's left. So, Fran, Andy, you have a middle name. Andy is actually my middle name. It's my first name that I keep hidden. But just so everyone knows, I've always been Andy. I've always been called Andy. When I was in college, my freshman year, they called the roll. It was a huge class. There were like 300 people in it. Psychology class. I think last night I said I had to take psychology 3 times. Well, this was the first. And this even makes the story better. They tell you they're taking the roll the first day of class. And I never responded. So at the end of the class, I went down and I said, you didn't call my name, but I'm registered. Here's the sheet of paper. And they looked at my first name and the roll, and sure enough, there it was, and noted that I did not respond when my name was called. It's because I had never been called that name before. So when they called it, I did not respond. I didn't even know my first name. I do know it now. Still never use it. Which is why it's so easy for me to keep it hidden from you. Your name is actually Pedro Pascal. Yeah, multi. Giving AA Ron. I love that skit. I freaking love that skit too. That I will crack up every single time. AA Ron. Vicky, you like Cool Cat by Queen? It's hard for me to identify a favorite song. I have favorite songs of the moment. I'm not Bin Laden. Welcome. It has been a long time. I'm glad you are here. Megan, you haven't missed much. Queen is life. Killer Queen. Yay. Freddie is the man. I've made you like Depeche Mode. It's not hard to like. It's not hard to not like Depeche Mode. They're amazing. Have I ever watched anime? No, I have not. Depeche Mode is freaking phenomenal. Rihanna 150, welcome. What about Freddy, Saturn, or Mars? Multi, behave yourself. That's funny though. Sarah, I've made you obsessed with Depeche Mode. Good. I love that. Zeneb, yes, I do have animals. I have 2 dogs. Sonic, welcome. Multi, don't apologize. It's freaking funny. Yes, SEF, you must. I'd get sold to Depeche Mode. I wish I'd get sold to Depeche. Just listen to Violator. Seriously. What kind of dogs? They are rescue dogs, both of them. One's very tiny and mean, and the other one is red and very cute and sweet. SEF. Seriously, you're gonna love it. There's another one called Music for the Masses that is more of a, if it's raining and you can open a window, listen to Music for the Masses. Bixby is so funny. Bixby is mean as hell. Oh, Multi, you'll appreciate this. Bixby, the reason we call him Bixby, his original name, and I think I told y'all, he was a rescue dog. He had been left for 3 months in a cage, just left there on his own. And he's super paranoid and shakes all the time and super protective and super mean. But the rescue team that had rescued him it was he and a bunch of other dogs that were living in a similar situation. And they named them all after places in Australia. So Bixby's original name was Brisbane. Have I ever listened to Midnight Oil? Yes, I have. My best friend in high school did a year abroad in Australia and got me addicted to Midnight Oil. Yep, Multi, I knew you'd appreciate that. Gotti, yes, I do listen to Lana Del Rey. I want to ask you a question, Gowdy. How many times have you asked that question? Brisbane, correct. Sorry, Megan. I'm just American. So give me some music recommendations. You're begging, please. I'm serious. I've already given you Depeche Mode. Listen to Depeche Mode, REM, U2, and the B-52s. Just pull those together. It's a wild, eclectic mix, and it'll be fun. SEF, Weird Al, and Billy Idol. That's a pretty cool mix. Fran, you love my accent? Specifically how you pronounce live. It's because I'm Southern, but I've lived in New England for so long that my accent's all confused. Andy, if you wrote a book, I would read it. Well, thank you, Multi. I probably will do that one day. Do I like Nine Inch Nails? Yes. Yes. Yes, I do. What about Bauhaus, of course? Gio, thank you. All right, y'all, we got two. Yeah, that one Nine Inch Nails song, I want to F you like an animal. Freaking hot. Like, pull over the car kind of hot. Do I like Hosier? Yes, I do. Maureen, no political. That's about right. Andy's accent is like warm molasses. Ooh. Thank you, Red Spy. I do doubt my voice. I really do. I appreciate all the comments. I really, 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 really do. And I do understand that I am reading to you, but I have an issue listening to my own voice. Kathy, your phone's almost dead. Plug it in. I know. That's why the reading makes us so sleepy. I can put you to sleep. Kathy, you just got home. Good. So you can plug it in. Is that a threat or a promise? I don't know. Take it like you see it. Warm whiskey laced with velvet. Wow. My. There you go, multi. Using descriptors. I like it. Oh, that's awesome, Red Spy. Thank you. That's cool. That's why I'm posting the longer content there. Multi. It's awesome. All right. It is 9:30. I apologize in advance. Oop, you got clocked, multi. All right. Get the water ready. I don't have any tissues, so if I get all snotty, it's just going to have to be. All right. Charlotte's Web, chapter 21. Last day. Charlotte and Wilbur were alone. The families had gone to look for Fern. Templeton was asleep. Wilbur lay resting after the excitement and strain of the ceremony. His medal still hung from his neck. By looking out of the corner of his eye, he could see it. "Charlotte," said Wilbur after a while, "why are you so quiet?" "I like to sit still," she said. "I've always been rather quiet." "Yes, but you seem specially so today. Do you feel all right?" "A little tired, perhaps, but I feel peaceful. Your success in the ring this morning was to a small degree my success. Your future is assured. You will live secure and safe, Wilbur. Nothing can harm you now. These autumn days will shorten and grow cold. The leaves will shake loose from the trees and fall. Christmas will come, then the snows of winter. You will live to enjoy the beauty of the frozen world, for you mean a great deal to Zuckerman, and he will not harm you, ever. Winter will pass, the days will lengthen, the ice will melt, and in the pasture pond, the song sparrow will return and sing, the frogs will awake, the warm wind will blow again, and these sights and sounds and smells will be yours to enjoy. Wilbur, this lovely world, these precious days." Charlotte stopped. A moment later, a tear came to Wilbur's eye. "Oh, Charlotte," he said, "to think that when I first met you, I thought you were cruel and bloodthirsty." When he recovered from his emotion, he spoke again. "Why did you do all of this for me?" he asked. "I don't deserve it. I've never done anything for you." "You have been my friend," replied Charlotte. "That in itself is a tremendous thing. I wove my webs for you because I liked you. After all, what's a life anyway? We're born, we live a little while, we die. A spider's life can't help being something of a mess, with all this trapping and eating flies. By helping you, perhaps I was trying to lift up my life a trifle. Heaven knows anyone's life can stand a little of that. Well, said Wilbur, I'm no good at making speeches. I haven't got your gift for words. But you have saved me, Charlotte, and I would gladly give my life for you. I really would. I'm sure you would, and I thank you for your generous sentiments. Charlotte, said Wilbur, we're all going home today. The fair is almost over. Won't it be wonderful to be back home in the barn cellar again with the sheep and the geese? Aren't you anxious to get home? For a moment, Charlotte said nothing. Then she spoke in a voice so low, Wilbur could hardly hear the words. I will not be going back to the barn, she said. Wilbur leapt to his feet. Not going back, he cried. Charlotte, what are you talking about? I'm done for, she replied. In a day or two, I'll be dead. I haven't even strength enough to climb down into the crate. I doubt if I have enough silk in my spinnerets to lower me to the ground. Hearing this, Wilbur threw himself down in an agony of pain and sorrow. Great sobs racked his body. He heaved and grunted with desolation. Charlotte, he moaned, Charlotte, my true friend. Come now. Let's not make a scene, said the spider. Be quiet, Wilbur. Stop thrashing about. But I can't stand it, shouted Wilbur. I won't leave you here alone to die. If you're going to stay here, I shall too. Don't be ridiculous, said Charlotte. You can't stay here. Zuckerman and Lurvy and John Arable and the others will be back any minute now. And they'll shove you into that crate, and away you'll go. Besides, it wouldn't make any sense for you to stay. There would be no one to feed you. The fairgrounds will soon be empty and deserted. Wilbur was in a panic. He raced round and round the pen. Suddenly he had an idea. He thought of the egg sack and the 514 little spiders that would hatch in the spring. If Charlotte herself was unable to go home to the barn, at least he must take her children along. Wilbur rushed to the front of the pen. He put his front feet up on the top board and gazed around. In the distance, he saw the Arables and the Zuckermans approaching. He knew he would have to act quickly. Where's Templeton? He demanded. He's in the corner under the straw, asleep, said Charlotte. Wilbur rushed over, pushed his strong snout under the rat, and tossed him into the air. Templeton, screamed Wilbur, pay attention. The rat, surprised, out of a sound asleep, looked first dazed and disgusted. What in the kind of monkey shine is this? He growled. Can't a rat catch a wink of sleep without being rudely popped into the air? Listen to me, cried Wilbur. Charlotte is very ill. She only has a short time to live. She cannot accompany us home because of her condition. Therefore, it is absolutely necessary that I take her egg sack with me. I can't reach it. I can't climb. You're the only one that can get it. There's not a second to be lost. The people are coming. They'll be here in no time. Please, please, Templeton, climb up and get the egg sack. The rat yawned He straightened his whiskers. Then he looked up at the egg sack. So, he said in disgust. So it's old Templeton to rescue again, is it? Templeton, do this. Templeton, do that. Templeton, please run down to the dump and get me a magazine clipping. Templeton, please lead me a piece of string so I can spin a web. Oh, hurry, said Wilbur. Hurry up, Templeton. But the rat was in no hurry. He began imitating Wilbur's voice. So it's hurry up, Templeton, is it? He said. Ho, ho. And what thanks do I get for these services? I would like to know. Never a kind word for old Templeton. Only abuse and wisecracks and side remarks. Never kind words for a rat. Templeton, said Wilbur in desperation, if you don't stop talking and get busy, all will be lost, and I will die of a broken heart. Please climb up. Templeton lay back in the straw. Lazily, he placed his forepaws behind his head and crossed his knees in an attitude of complete relaxation. Die of a broken heart, he mimicked. How touching. My. I notice that it's always me you come to when in trouble. But I've never heard of anyone's heart breaking on my account. Oh, no. Who cares anything about old Templeton? Get up, screamed Wilbur. Stop acting like a spoiled child. Templeton grinned and lay still. Who made trip after trip to the dump, he asked. Why, it was old Templeton. Who saved Charlotte's life by scaring that Arable boy away with a rotten goose egg? Bless my soul, I believe it was old Templeton. Who bit your tail and got you back on your feet this morning after you had fainted in front of the crowd? Old Templeton. Has it ever occurred to you that I'm sick of running errands and doing favors? Do you think I am, anyway, a rat of all work? Wilbur was desperate. The people were coming, and the rat was failing him. Suddenly he remembered Templeton's fondness for food. Templeton, he said, I will make you a solemn promise. Get Charlotte's egg sack for me, and from now on I will let you eat first. When Lurvy slops me, I will let you have your choice of everything in the trough, and I won't touch a thing until you're through. The rat sat up. You mean that? He said. I promise, cross my heart. All right, it's a deal, said the rat. He walked to the wall and started to climb. His stomach was still swollen from last night's gorge. Groaning and complaining, he pulled himself slowly to the ceiling. He crept along till he reached the egg sack. Charlotte moved aside for him. She was dying. But she still had enough strength to move a little. Then Templeton bared his long, ugly teeth and began snipping the threads that fastened the sack to the ceiling. Wilbur watched from below. Use extreme care, he said. I don't want a single one of those eggs harmed. The fix in my mouth, complained the rat. It's the worse than caramel candy. But Templeton worked away at the job and managed to cut the sack adrift and carry it to the ground, where he dropped it in front of Wilbur. Wilbur heaved a great sigh of relief. Thank you, Templeton, he said. I will never forget this as long as I live. Neither will I, said the rat, picking his teeth. I feel as though I'd eaten a spool of thread. Well, home we go. Templeton crept into the crate and buried himself in the straw. He got out of sight just in time. Lurvy and John Arable and Mr. Zuckerman came along at that moment, followed by Mrs. Arable and Mrs. Zuckerman and Avery and Fern. Wilbur had already decided how he would carry the egg sack. There was only one possible way. He carefully took the little bundle in his mouth and held it there on top of his tongue. He remembered that Charlotte had told him that the sack was waterproof and strong. It felt funny on his tongue and made him drool a bit, and of course, he couldn't say anything. But as he was being shoved into the crate, he looked up at Charlotte and gave her a wink. She knew he was saying goodbye in the only way he could, and she knew her children were safe. "Goodbye," she whispered. Then she summoned all her strength and waved one of her front legs at him. She never moved again. Next day, as the Ferris wheel was being taken apart, and the racehorses were being loaded into vans, and the entertainers were packing up their belongings and driving away in their trailers, Charlotte died. The fairgrounds were soon deserted. The sheds and buildings were empty and forlorn. The infield was littered with bottles and trash. Nobody of the hundreds of people that had visited the fair knew that a gray spider had played the most important part of all. No one was with her when she died. A Warm Wind, chapter 22. And so Wilbur came home to his beloved manure pile in the barn cellar. His was a strange homecoming. Around his neck he wore a Medal of Honor. In his mouth he held a sack of spider eggs. There's no place like home, Wilbur thought, as he placed Charlotte's 514 unborn children carefully in a safe corner. The barn smelled good. His friends, the sheep and the geese, were glad to see him back. The geese gave him a noisy welcome. Congratulations, they cried. Nice work. Mr. Zuckerman took the medal from Wilbur's neck and hung it on a nail over the pig pen where visitors could examine it. Wilbur himself could look at it whenever he wanted to. In the days that followed, he was very happy. He grew to a great size. He no longer worried about being killed, for he knew that Mr. Zuckerman would keep him as long as he lived. Wilbur often thought of Charlotte. A few strands of her old web still hung in the doorway. Every day, Wilbur would stand and look at the torn, empty web, and a lump would come into his throat. No one had ever had such a friend, so affectionate, so loyal, so skillful. The autumn days grew shorter. Lurvy brought the squashes and the pumpkins in from the garden and piled them on the barn floor, where they wouldn't get nipped on frosty nights. The maples and birches turned bright colors, and the wind shook them, and they dropped their leaves one by one to the ground. Under the wild apple trees in the pasture, the red little apples lay thick on the ground, and the sheep gnawed at them, and the geese gnawed them, and foxes came in at night and sniffed them. One evening, just before Christmas, snow began falling. It covered house and barn and fields and woods. Wilbur had never seen snow before. When morning came, he went out and plowed the drifts in his yard, for the fun of it. Fern and Avery arrived dragging a sled. They coasted down the lane and out onto the frozen pond in the pasture. Coasting is the most fun there is, said Avery. The most fun there is, retorted Fran, is when the Ferris wheel stops and Henry and I are in the top car. and Henry makes the car swing, and we can see everything for miles and miles. Goodness, are you still thinking about that old Ferris wheel? Said Avery in disgust. The fair was weeks and weeks ago. I think about it all the time, said Fern, picking snow from her ear. After Christmas, the thermometer dropped to 10 below zero. Cold settled on the world. The pasture was bleak and frozen. The cows stayed in the barn all the time now, except on sunny mornings when they went out and stood in the barnyard in the lee of the straw pile. The sheep stayed near the barn too for protection. When they were thirsty, they ate snow. The geese hung around the barnyard the way boys hang around a drugstore. And Mr. Zuckerman fed them corn and turnips to keep them cheerful. Many, many, many thanks, they always said when they saw food coming. Templeton moved indoors when winter came. His ratty home under the pig trough was too chilly, so he fixed himself a cozy nest in the barn behind the grain bins. He lined it with bits of dirty newspapers and rags, and whenever he found a trinket or a keepsake, he carried it home and stored it there. He continued to visit Wilbur 3 times a day, exactly at mealtime, and Wilbur kept the promise he had made. Wilbur let the rat eat first. Then, when Templeton couldn't hold another mouthful, Wilbur would eat. As a result of overeating, Templeton grew bigger and fatter than any rat you ever saw. He was gigantic. He was as big as a young woodchuck. The old sheep spoke to him about his size one day. "You would live longer," said the old sheep, "if you ate less." "Who wants to live forever?" sneered the rat. "I'm naturally a heavy eater, and I get untold satisfaction from the pleasures of the feast." He patted his stomach, grinned at the sheep, and crept upstairs to lie down. All winter, Wilbur watched over Charlotte's egg sack, as though he were guarding his own children. He had scooped out a special place in the manure for the sack, next to the board fence. On very cold nights, he lay so his breath would warm it. For Wilbur, nothing in life was so important as this small, round object. Nothing else mattered. Patiently he awaited the end of the winter and the coming of the little spiders. Life is always a rich and steady time when you are waiting for something to happen or to hatch. The winter ended at last. "I heard the frogs today," said the old sheep one evening. "Listen. You can hear them now." Wilbur stood still and cocked his ears. From the pond, in shrill chorus, came the voices of hundreds of little frogs. "Springtime," said the old sheep thoughtfully. "Another spring." As she walked away, Wilbur saw a new lamb following her. It was only a few hours old. The snows melted and ran away. The streams and ditches bubbled and chattered with rushing water. A sparrow with a streaky breast arrived and sang. The light strengthened. The mornings came sooner. Almost every morning there was another new lamb in the sheepfold. The goose was sitting on 9 eggs. The sky seemed wider and warmer, and warm wind blew. The last remaining strands of Charlotte's old web floated away and vanished. One fine sunny morning after breakfast, Wilbur stood watching his precious sack. He wasn't thinking of anything much as he stood there. He noticed something move. He stepped closer and stared. A tiny spider crawled from the sack. It was no bigger than a grain of sand, no bigger than the head of a pin. Its body was gray with a black stripe underneath. Its legs were gray and tan, and it looked just like Charlotte. Wilbur trembled all over when he saw it. The little spider waved at him. Then Wilbur looked more closely. 2 more spiders crawled out and waved. They climbed round and round on the sack, exploring their new world. Then 3 more little spiders, then 8, then 10. Charlotte's children were here at last. Wilbur's heart pounded. He began to squeal. Then he raced in circles, kicking manure in the air. Then he turned a backflip. Then he planted his front feet and came to a stop in front of Charlotte's children. "Hello there," he said. The first spider said hello, but its voice was so small Wilbur couldn't hear it. "I'm an old friend of your mother's," said Wilbur. "I'm glad to see you. Are you all right? Is everything all right?" The little spiders waved their forelegs at him. Wilbur could see by the way they acted they were glad to see him. "Is there anything I can get you? Is there anything you need?" The young spiders just waved. For several days and several nights they crawled here and there, up and down, around and about, waving at Wilbur, trailing tiny drag lines behind them and exploring their home. There were dozens and dozens of them. Wilbur couldn't count them, but he knew that he had a great many new friends. They grew quite rapidly. Soon each was as big as a BB shot. They made tiny webs near the sack. Then came a quiet morning when Mr. Zuckerman opened the door on the north side. A warm draft of raising air blew softly through the barn cellar. The air smelled of damp earth, of the spruce woods, of the sweet springtime. The baby spiders felt the warm updraft. One spider climbed to the top of the fence. Then it did something that came as a great surprise to Wilbur. The spider stood on its head, pointed its spinnerets in the air, and let loose a cloud of fine silk. The silk formed a balloon. As Wilbur watched, the spider let go of the fence and rose into the air. "Goodbye," it said, as it sailed through the doorway. "Wait a minute," screamed Wilbur. "Where do you think you're going?" But the spider was already out of sight. Then another baby spider crawled atop the fence, stood on its head and made a balloon and sailed away. Then another spider, then another. The air was soon filled with tiny balloons, each balloon carrying a spider. Wilbur was frantic. Charlotte's babies were disappearing at a great rate. "Come back, children," he cried. "Goodbye," they called. "Goodbye, goodbye." At least one little spider took time enough to stop and talk to Wilbur before making its balloon. "We're leaving here on the warm updraft. This is our moment for setting forth. We are aeronauts, and we are going out into the world to make webs for ourselves." "But where?" said Wilbur. "Wherever the wind takes us. High, low, near, far, east, west, north, south. We take to the breeze. We go as we please." "Are all of you going?" asked Wilbur. "You can't all go. I would be left alone with no friends. Your mother wouldn't want that to happen, I'm sure." The air was now so full of balloonists that the barn cellar looked almost as though a mist had gathered. Balloons by the dozens were rising, circling and drifting away through the door, sailing off into the gentle wind. Cries of "goodbye, goodbye, goodbye" came weakly to Wilbur's ears. He couldn't bear to watch any more. In sorrow, he sank to the ground and closed his eyes. This seemed like the end of the world, to be deserted by Charlotte's children. Wilbur cried himself to sleep. When he woke, it was late afternoon. He looked at the egg sack. It was empty. He looked into the air. The balloonists were gone. Then he walked dearly to the doorway where Charlotte's web used to be. He was standing there, thinking of her. Then he heard a small voice. "Salutations," it said. "I'm up here." So am I, said another tiny voice. So am I, said a third voice. The three of us are staying. We like this place. And we like you. Wilbur looked up at the top of the doorway. 3 small webs were being constructed. On each web, working busily, was one of Charlotte's daughters. Can I take this to mean, asked Wilbur, that you have definitely decided to live here in the barn cellar, and that I'm going to have 3 friends? You can indeed, said the spiders. What are your names, please? Asked Wilbur, trembling with joy. I'll tell you my name, replied the first little spider, if you tell me why you are trembling. I'm trembling with joy, said Wilbur. Then my name is Joy, said the first spider. What was my mother's middle initial? Asked the second spider. A, said Wilbur. Then my name is Ariana, said the spider. How about me? Asked the third spider. Will you just pick out a nice, sensible name for me? Something not too long, not too fancy, and not too dumb. Wilbur thought hard. Nellie, he suggested. Fine, I like that very much, said the third spider. You may call me Nellie. She daintily fastened her orb line to the next spoke of the web. Wilbur's heart brimmed with happiness. He felt that he should make a short speech on this very important occasion. Joy, Ariana, Nellie, he began. Welcome to the barn cellar. You have chosen a hallowed doorway from which to string your webs. I think it is only fair to tell you that I was devoted to your mother. I owe my very life to her. She was brilliant, beautiful, and loyal to the end. I shall always treasure her memory. To you, her daughters, I pledge my friendship forever and ever. I pledge mine, said Joy. I do too, said Ariana. And so do I, said Nellie, who had just managed to catch a small gnat. It was a happy day for Wilbur, and many more happy, tranquil days followed. As time went on and the months and years came and went, he was never without friends. Fern did not come regularly to the barn anymore. She was growing up and was careful to avoid childish things like sitting on a milk stool near a pig pen. But Charlotte's children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, year after year, lived in the doorway. Each spring there were new little spiders hatching out to take the place of the old. Most of them sailed away on their balloons. But always 2 or 3 stayed and set up housekeeping in the doorway. Mr. Zuckerman took fine care of Wilbur all the rest of his days, and the pig was often visited by friends and admirers, for nobody ever forgot the year of his triumph and the miracle of the web. Life in the barn was very good, night and day, winter and summer, spring and fall, dull days and bright days. It was the best place to be, thought Wilbur, this warm, delicious cellar, with the garrulous geese, the changing seasons, the heat of the sun, the passage of the swallows, the nearness of rats, the sameness of sheep, the love of spiders, the smell of manure, and the glory of everything. Wilbur never forgot Charlotte. Although he loved her children and grandchildren dearly, none of the new spiders ever quite took her place in his heart. She was in a class by herself, and it is not often that someone comes along who is a true friend and a good writer. Charlotte was both. The end. So, what's next, y'all? It's a really good book. Nancy Drew. I'll have to pick up a Nancy Drew. Thank you, Red Spy. Okay, y'all. I'm going to call it quits tonight. Oh, I did make a promise. Didn't I? It was Arms Day. All right, y'all. How's B? Doing great. It's for my best friend. All right, y'all. Good night. Sleep well.